This is the second quarter-inch scale model, and what it is in pretty quick three-dimensional form, it just explores ideas to check and see whether or not the idea is going to work, the proportions, the spacing, how it works with the sightlines in the theater. What I think they're going to expect when they come in is they're going to see a classic Greek tragedy. And so what we are doing is trying to put them in an environment where it doesn't look at all like a tragedy. There have been so many sets where you come in and it's all doom and gloom and bright red and all those things associated with tragedies and death and all of that. So what they're coming into in this show is going to be a gleaming white space that looks more like contemporary, well, it's traditional Greek architecture. And we're getting away from forecasting what's happening with the show itself. That's kind of the idea at this point. And with grit on lighting, opening up all the stonework so we can light through it when we get to the moment where she kills the kids, instead of doing blood, which is going to be dopey.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all starts with meetings with the director and reading the script and the text and coming up with ideas that we bring into the production meetings and design meetings with the directors. And then we talk about what experiences we want the audience to have, and again, what experiences the characters are having and how we tell the story. And we have to kind of keep remembering that we're storytellers.
I'm just questioning the play again and again and again, just that's all I'm doing at the moment. Just double checking, checking in, checking again, checking. That I'm not imposing on the story, that I'm not designing with preconceptions, designing with baggage, coming to the story with as little baggage as possible, basically. And one of the things I think is the relationship between domesticity and myth. That's one of the things I'm just kind of reassessing. And so I think the scale of what we've got here is just fantastic. And we went into the space very briefly yesterday, and I thought, that's big. Not the space. Space is not the issue. The size of the building, I think it's too big.
Okay.
I just think it's too big. I think the building is, I think it's, this, two things I thought that I lay awake at 5 in the morning thinking. One is that if there is so much grandeur and if there is so much wealth, I know that comparatively, the world of Palace, the offstage world of Palace, makes it even more about splendor and riches and money and all those things. But I don't know why I would leave my wife. That's my question. Why would, other than security in terms of my personal relationship and my placement in society, this is pretty good.
When we left in April, I felt the show was going to be much more realistic and traditional recognizable architecture. And my research up to that point had all been about contemporary Greek architects. And I really wanted to honor the work that they were doing and to get a feel of what architecture in Greece was like today. Over the summer, I've gotten away from that and it's become more sculptural as I just kind of kept looking for other ideas and other ways of getting a feeling about this particular show. We spent a lot of time in the spring talking about textures we were going to use so that the actors could communicate through sound and use sound to develop and tell the story as they try to communicate with each other. And we've gone away from sand and now we're talking about pea gravel or crushed stone of some sort that'll make more noise. And we've got a lot more metal going on in the show instead of stucco, just to create different textures that we can use to make sound.
Yeah, that was okay. I think this one's still the most. No, actually. I like to scratch.
Oh yeah. You have that? Yeah. That's kind of fun.
Let's just start hitting on things. Stop. that's nice.
The design so far has become a little bit more monumental than originally planned in the first version of it. It is opened up. It's become something we can light through for lighting effects when she kills the children. That was unexpected, and now what I'm working on are finding Greek textures, patterns, and images that we can use to sculpt the walls. The walls for this show, the stonework for the building is instead of just being stonework, is layered textures, patterns, and images that kind of reflect Greek society from past all the way through the present. So as you look at it, it will be a collage of all these different textures going all the way up. The set design went in a different direction than we originally thought we were going to take. And then that affected how the lighting design was going to take place, and then ultimately how the costume designs were going, because the set became much more collage-like than we had originally anticipated. And so now the costumes are also going to be collage somewhat.
But like the main thing here, I guess, was since we dropped the Arabic theme and kind of started trying to move a little bit more into the kind of postmodern industrial kind of realm. So I backed it off, and I've been trying to mix this up with the Greek. We started out with one concept that I nearly fully designed, and I researched that. It was kind of an Arabic idea, and I researched a lot of modern Arabic clothes and kind of stylized them and got a design for that, and then we decided to change direction. And from there, a lot of it ended up just looking at pictures and kind of making stuff up, because we went into a modern combination, like a combination of modern and classical Greek, and so it became kind of a challenge, just looking at pictures of ancient Greek people and then modern fashion, and then kind of figuring out a way to combine the two. And you want to make both ideas apparent, but you don't want to make it really apparent what you're doing. I mean, you don't want to make it really apparent that you're overdoing it, I guess should be what I need to say there. It's kind of like soldiers with their big strappy boots. It's kind of supposed to be relate to the Greek sandals with all the buckles and all the straps and whatnot.
And this isn't really a slip stitch, this is a fell stitch. She just calls it a slip stitch because it's pretty much
Once the designs have been signed off on, you begin your build process. And that involves a lot of just the cutter draper of the show, which is the person who develops the patterns. They look at a picture and they figure out how to put this costume together. Some of them may be, well, I know a commercial pattern that'll work for this, and some of them may be, well, there's nothing that exists that work for this, so I have to make it up. And that's what part of our training is, both a designer and a technician, is to learn how to do that. We fortunately here at VCU come from the school that it's important that you know how to build something, how to make something come to life as it is for you to be able to put it down on paper.
What did you study in English?
Now I can knife fight. And one more.
It's fun. I mean, that's what I got into theater for, was to work in costumes. A lot of people have got into theater for, like, they want to be an actor, and a lot of people in the tech